What's good, y'all? We got more Pokemon scalpers in the big 2026. I want to cover the Iran stuff too. I might do that on another video because that's interesting. Very interesting. But let's get right to it. Let's get right into the crux of this. We might do Oprah too and her occultic acts.
Scalping is when some loser purchases as much of an item possible right when it
Hey, shout out to Bladed Angel. We just covered one of his videos. Cool videos. So yeah, let's get right to it. You know you gotta show the props.
is usually with a botting program with no intention of actually using said item, but rather to just flip it at a much higher cost to people who do want or need it but no longer can buy it since they just purchased the whole supply in a split second. Of course, scalping isn't always online. However, it's even more loser behavior when it happens in person because it usually involves really sad and
Yeah, it's getting to the point of level like Sheesh. Yeah, scalpers just win for real. Cause then you got the bots. Like you go online to a store, you try to get something online. The second you try to get it, it's gone. You try to get some shoes on the release. You go on the website, you could wait. You could have stayed up all night. You could have called out of work, stayed out all night, looked at the website, refreshed, sold out. Hey, scalpers are something new that it do gotta be stopped. It must be quelled. But the only thing that could stop scalpers are us, the buyers, the consumers, sadly.
actions like these fat Reddit moderators pushing children over in grocery stores. Hell, some losers even commit armed robbery over it. People will scalp anything these days. Did you know people even scalp IKEA?
They be barging into they be taking the truck and they be backing the truck literally into a card store. Max assailants, about 5 deep. They go with the trucks. They just steal trucks and they go rob card stores like it's nothing. Like it's GTA 6. GTA 6 not even here yet. We got people leaving card stores with whole loads of whole loads of cargo like they pirates. It's crazy.
Furniture. Like, sure, you could argue that furniture has more practical uses than like a Pokemon card or any trading game card for that matter, but this actually still blew my mind because it means that there's like a large enough demographic for scalpers to literally scalp anything. Like, remember back when these losers also scalped toilet paper and hand sanitizer during the pandemic, and people actually defended them with the annoying cope of, they're just being businessmen. It's just simple supply and demand. Haha. And then those same losers had a shocked face when companies simply just drove up the supply and then boom, crashed their prices, and a lot of those losers got stuck with thousands of dollars worth of hand sanitizer that they couldn't sell anymore. And I'm just gonna throw this out there. Being a real businessman means establishing producers, supply chains, and making or designing the products to begin with, or hiring a group of people to do so. It doesn't mean buying an existing product, having no control over its original initial supply and production, and then just charging exorbitant prices for it. That's just false scarcity. All it takes is one corporation to just crank up the production again, and there goes the prices, and that has destroyed so many of their lives. And honestly, I'm all for that. That's funny. At the end of the day, scalping is just a really crappy form of drop shipping, and I'm tired of pretending like these scalpers are some sort of mad genius businessmen who mastered hustle culture, when I know for a fact they're all rocking the Discord moderator build.
I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying to get that bread, man. Please. How am I gonna make that bread?
And this is all over cards, by the way. Like, I know it has value, just like how jewelry at the end of the day is a shiny rock that we humans assigned arbitrary value to, and people rob that, right? But you gotta admit, this just sounds way worse and honestly way funnier. Like if a jewelry thief ended up in prison, they might still be like some genius heist dude who like you is probably well respected by the other prisoners. But genuinely, imagine some clown gets locked up over Pokemon cards, and you already know that these buffoons are gonna just get their cheeks clapped, gapped, and creamed by the rest of the inmates when they find out.
Yeah, it's actually vicious. Because imagine some dork some fat scalper that just can't help himself and grab two booster packs, two booster boxes. He gotta grab 5. He gotta grab 8, and then he gotta go get the sleeves, and he gotta take a whole cart full of everything. And then you know what? Actually, he gonna come through with a gang of his fellas, right? Old sweaty onion boys, right? They gonna come through and they gonna pull up with a pickup truck. They gonna back into the car store, and then you know what's the worst part about it? It's 2026. Like I said, we're in the big 2026. So these cars are basically traceable. So you're like on the hot market, and unless you was to go to like China or something, the only place you could probably legitimately sell these cars is like on the back streets, back channels of the black market, or in China, or a country that's miscellaneous like that. I don't know if nothing on China, but I'm just saying I know there's someone out there that would buy it. They don't care. But out here, bro, you're going to jail.
Stupid behavior. Like, speaking of their lies, that's another cope that I always hear is like, oh, but I'm just trying to make a living, bro. This day and age, just gotta grind any way you can to make some money. I hear people justify scalping with that. And like, no. See, the problem is this actively makes other people's lives worse. That's why this isn't like a good way to make a living. That's essentially a criminal. And as I stated before, some of them literally are doing crimes. Like, these MFs will do anything but just get a normal job. In fact, I'd rather someone be unemployed than do this garbage. Like, legit.
Bro, this should be illegal, bruh. Well, actually, I don't know who's to blame. Should I blame the scalpers or do I blame Nintendo? Do you blame Nintendo? Because they definitely have the funds, they have the means, and they have the ways to secure a lot of inventory to make it so everybody has a way to get bundle packs and booster packs and whatever. But they don't do that. They choose not to do that because they greedy. They want more money. They want their things to keep going up, and they want the craze to continue. But the worst part about it is, it might get worse. Like it might get like bloody.
There's no long-term income stability from this career because, like I mentioned earlier, all it takes is for a manufacturer to either release a new batch of a new good that's more desirable or to just randomly release a rerun of the current batch of a good that you're currently scalping, and it completely crashes your prices. And now you're stuck with a bunch of inventory that you can't sell at ridiculously scalped prices and instead have to sell at a ridiculous loss. The hand sanitizer and toilet paper example during quarantine is the funniest one I can think of, but it did happen to people who overly held on to GPUs even when Bitcoin mining started to slow down.
That's why when you get this stuff, you gotta sell high if you're gonna be doing this. Don't think it's gonna go up to 100,000. After this video, we're gonna go into the little Twitter files. We got some Twitter files on Pokemon scalpers. Well, not even Pokemon scalpers. I seen this one booster box from 2005 when I was in 5th grade. Boy, if I knew that if I could have went to the store and bought me a booster box of Pokemon cards in 2005 when I was still picking my nose and growing in teeth, right? The box go for 200,000 now. The box go for 200K. And I did not know nothing about it. Somebody just sold one of those boxes for $200,000, y'all. 2026, you gotta love it. Got to.
At the end of the day, every so-called successful scalper I see flexing on TikTok is just some dude who made 1 or 2 big sales, like, oh wow, $4,000, crazy, wow, good job, little bro. Then chases that high forever, never able to replicate it. Trying to predict and learn scalping markets is genuinely way more effort because they're just so much more volatile than just learning the stock market, which, by the way, is infinitely more profitable and better yet, also more stable. Of course, the best thing to
Yeah, I don't know why people don't just lean more into stocks. This stuff is more fun. Like you see this. I remember one day I went to the Target, right? I really wanted some Pokemon cards. Like I was pissed when I couldn't find no Pokemon cards. Mind you, when I was a little kid, they had Pokemon cards every day at the Toys R Us. I never saw Pokemon cards out of stock ever. Those who was there know I'm not lying. Don't say I'm old. Don't play with me. But I couldn't get Pokemon cards, and I rarely ever see Pokemon cards in the wild. So I ended up getting these. Baseball cards. Because I like sports. And I'm not going to lie, it has been so worth it. It was so worth it. I'm not looking back. I found the new passion, shall I say. And I sprung up upon it by accident. Like, I was like, dang, I'm never going to see Pokemon cards, huh? Or I'm just going to get lucky one day. But I look down and I see Otani and Judge on the pack. I might as well grab that. And I ain't looked back ever since.
You want a stable source of income if you're, I'm just trying to make a living, bro. Just get a job. And I deeply apologize for jump scaring all the unemployed viewers with that word. But just know that I genuinely appreciate all y'all unemployed viewership, and I would rather have you guys do nothing for society than actively do something that harms society. So like this video if you're enjoying it so
When I was unemployed, I was selling things. A lot of things.
subscribe for more rants. Back to the video. And I genuinely wish corporations would do something to stop scalping. And it seems over time they have implemented more measures like buying limits. That can be quickly subverted with just making a whole bunch of fake emails and fake accounts. But the in-person buying limits are always my favorite because, you know, these Discord mods hate going out in public. And by the way, scalping does negatively affect corporations as well. So this is something they should actually be on the side of consumers with, because they don't see a lick of the profits from the scalpers either.
They don't care. They don't care. As long as their stuff fly off the shelf, why would the corporation care if whatever their inventory is flying off the shelves at record paces? Like, why would you care? They can't sell it at the prices of scalpers, because that would decline the scalpers buying the stuff, and they can't sell it at the price of and they have to keep it at the price it's going for, because that's what makes it sell out really fast. It's not rocket science. I mean, it's business 101.
It's kind of like when jerkwad car dealerships who mark up entry-level cars to the moon are completely ruining the whole point of a manufacturer's intention of making an affordable car to begin with. Speaking of car dealers, though, car dealerships.
Shimigami.
Because the only thing worse than a loser scalper is a government-sanctioned loser scalper. If you're young enough and you haven't bought a car yet, boy oh boy, am I about to tell you the minefield of a world that is buying a car. And I'm tired of pretending that car dealers...
Man, fuck buying a car. The minefield of a market to buy anything right now. It's like a mine. It's like a landmine. It's like a bomb, damn nearly. Even buying gold. The bubble we're living in, the economic bubble we're living in, like, let's get to houses. Cars is bad, bro, but at least the cars still go fast and they add in new little gadgets and whatnot. You may have a subscription. They may hit you over the head and keep hitting you over the head and tell you to, you know, make noises and whatnot. But houses are way worse. You're getting taxed 3, 4, 5, 10 times what your grandparents get taxed. And you know what's way worse? Your grandparents had a brick house. Their house was made of brick, and it actually lasted. These houses nowadays are made of paper mache, and they don't last more than 10 years. So, hey, you pick your poison.
Just legally protected scalpers. Like, they're mandated to exist by federal law, by the way. That's why we can't just buy direct from manufacturer, because that's something I always see people saying, like, how come we can't just buy from factories? Real talk, though. Why does MSRP exist if no car dealership follows it anymore? Can we stop calling it manufacturer's suggested retail price and start pushing for it to be called manufacturer's mandated retail price, and then actually have a law that enforces car dealers to sell it at the prices mandated?
They're not going to do that.
That's government overreach either, since remember, there's already a law that mandates the dealership's existence that we have to go through. So if we're already forced to go through these dealers, can we at least get another law that protects us from their stupid, evil scalping and markups and awful pricing? Why isn't shopping for anything else like this? Why is it that when I see a $4 loaf of bread on the grocery store shelf, it's still $4 at the register, and I don't need to negotiate tooth and nail over its price at the cashier. But buying a car is still the only thing we treat like a medieval market stall where it's just an absolute free-for-all, constant.
Oh, that's from an anime. I seen that anime.
And a lot of scamming and a lot of scalping and a lot of marking up. The crazy part is, right, the grocery store is also a middleman, just like a car dealer is.
Bro, I want to say that was ReZero, bro. Those who watch anime, don't grill me. Don't grill me. I want to say that was ReZero, though. ReZero was a good show. It was actually pretty cool. Let's get to it.
It's also not direct from manufacturer. And by the way, I get why direct from manufacturer
Optimus
doesn't
Prime.
work for all these products, because having consumers visit a dedicated bread store from bakers who only sell bread, then another one like the dairy guy for milk, and then another, farmer for selling eggs, that'd be really annoying. So we have these middlemen, in this case a grocery store, that serves as a vendor to hold all of those goods simultaneously, that we don't constantly have to buy direct from producer or direct from manufacturer, because that would just be too much commuting, right? I understand that's what car dealers were supposed to serve for. They serve as a middleman, especially in the case of warranty repairs. If a recall happens, you don't just flood the dealer, you don't flood a manufacturer's lot with all the recalls. You take it to individual dealers first. So my issue isn't that these middlemen exist. Having said that, because this middleman exists and because we're forced to go through it, and unlike any other shopping situation where the price stated is the price we pay, cars are the only one where when you go to these dealers, two consumers can go in, look at the exact same product, and even crazier, can go to the exact same dealership at the exact same location, see the exact same list price, but be given two entirely different prices. You can actually try this out yourself without having to buy the car, so you don't need to have like 60 grand on you to do this experiment, because every dealer lets you.
Yeah, they are the OG scalpers. Definitely the OG scalpers. But it's way worse because buying Pokemon cards, Jordans, and like toys and stuff should not be equivalent to buying a car, It's just not the same.
Walk in and you can ask for a printed paper with the final price breakdown, fees, and everything. And they usually sit you down a bit, try to gauge why you're interested in the car, and they do profile you. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they do, 100%. People lie when they say, like, oh, we live in a really inclusive society where there's shut up. They profile, they 100% profile you. Every time I've done this for my friends when helping them shop for cars, I always get the lowest price for them, because they go in on their own first, get the paper handed to them after talking for an hour, show me the paper, and I go, this is bull crap. This fee you don't need, this fee you don't need. Like, good example, right? The amount of car dealers and even motorcycle dealers that try to charge freight and assembly fees on a used vehicle, a vehicle that is already on their lot, that was traded in by someone else. So to explain this for people who are wondering why this is a big deal,
It's already been freight and assembled. It's already been maintenance, all of that.
Car does not to be shipped, therefore there shouldn't be a freight fee. It was dropped off by the previous owner who traded it in. Usually, sometimes they do buy used cars from auctions. I still think it's a scam. I still think you can negotiate freight away. You can negotiate this one down. Second one, when I talked about assembly fees, this one is just total BS. Any dealer that does this is trying to pull a fast one. A used car is fully assembled. It's not like a new car and the dealer usually has to just do really simple things like put on the mirror. Sometimes they even put on the aero kits, because usually splitters and spoilers get damaged in the trailer, so manufacturers don't
Corvette, baby.
on the assembly line. The dealer has to. And again, like, this fee makes sense for a new car because a new vehicle had to be assembled, but a used vehicle was already assembled by another dealer. There's no assembly that occurs here, and there are a whole bunch of other fees that they'll try to rip you off on. I really don't want to yap about it here. There are a lot of other videos you can watch for car buying guides that are going to go way.
Yeah, getting a brand new car in 2026 is like signing a Shimigami deal. But that's not what we wanted to cover. Hey, go shout bro out though, Bladed Angel. Go tap into his videos and shit. You feel me? Let's go dip over to some Twitter files real quick though. Look at this. This what some of y'all be thinking when looking at the evolving skybox on your walls. It's hilarious because there's some people. Let me look at these comments. I'm surprised nobody in the comments showing their look. What I tell you, showing their line of boxes and stuff. This might be AI though. This might be AI. Showing their alignment of boxes. Man, a Skyris booster box was sold for $200 $112,500. That is crazy. Skyridge Pokemon cards. Wizards of the Coast or something like that. This is what we're living through. And then you have this guy, this Cheeto sniffer. Look at him. This Cheeto sniffer. He poop Cheetos. Like, he's just a Cheeto. Look at him. Wow, Cheeto Puff. There go Jigglypuff. That's crazy. Dude with the gray hairs, cargo shorts. Bro, you know, bruh. Still eating Twinkies, man. He still consumes Twinkies in 2026, I'm telling you. And then it gets kind of funnier. Well, this is just a side note. This has nothing to do with scalpers or whatnot, but they supposedly pushed the draft, the males aged from 18 to 25, right? So, and this will be automatically registered for U.S. military draft starting December 2026. So, eligible males aged 18 to 25 are automatically enlisted. So, they're automatically enlisting people. We're in a space where our allies don't listen to us, and they just go and bomb foreign countries with our inventories, where our against our will. And then to make it all worse, our country tells their people that they're gonna automatically register people for the draft. And their main ally that drug us into this war don't even listen to them and do whatever they want. That's actually crazy. I ain't think Trump was this dumb. I said he was not the best candidate. I thought he was better than this, but he's actually terrible. He's like, I don't want to say moronic because nobody could actually, hold up. I don't want to say moronic, bro, because nobody could really be this moronic. Nobody that's touched $1 billion could be this moronic if you really thought about it. So he's compromised. 1,000% compromised. He's compromised, or our whole government's compromised. Because if a lot of people that weren't up at that level were not compromised, YouTube I already know this video not gonna get that much reach. I'm talking about things they don't want me to talk about. But if a lot of people at that level did not have were not compromised and whatnot, somebody would have came out against this already. And I don't mean the little military flunky, no offense, or like some little sergeant or something that got their head on right and wants to stand up for something right and they could just blush them off like a little flea. No, I'm talking about like a vice president or like someone in the cabinet, a secretary of defense, or like the big commanders in the military with the big flag badges and whatnot. Like, they would come out and say something if a lot of people were not compromised. You know what I'm saying? I think we have so many people that are compromised from business deals. Like, screw all the Mepstein stuff, you know, all the Flepstein stuff, okay? Fleck. We're going to say Fleckstein because I don't even want to get pinged. Okay, so all the Fleckstein stuff, excuse all the Fleckstein stuff. We got politicians that do literal business deals. They cut business deals like insider trading. They do insider trading to the point we have insider trading on we have insider trading on the war. Insider trading on the war. They're gambling on Kalshi on the war. Like, people's getting blown to smithereens, and then some dudes racking up a cool 300K, 400K, left with a cool 3 mil after 3 bombs drop, and the milk about to be $10 in 2 months maybe. And then to make it all worse, nobody gonna say nothing. They not gonna do nothing. Nobody gonna go. No treason. No nothing. Nope. Because they're all compromised. That's why I said excuse all the flexing stuff. We have people that are compromised from things they did to acquire money, things they did to get to the position they're at, things they did behind closed doors. We have people that they're literally in the occult. Okay, they're in the occult. They are clothed in shadow. They live shadowed lives. Go watch Eyes Wide Shut. That's a movie I love. That's one of my holiday movies. I really like that movie. Better than Home Alone. And that's how they've been living. It's an old movie. These movies don't just spring up from nowhere. Even in Full Metal Alchemist, one of my favorite animes. Like I said, this is like we living in Full Metal Alchemist right now. In real time, bruh. Real time, this is Full Metal Alchemist. This is what we living through right now. I want y'all to understand that. Like when they was acquiring all the people and they was hurting them in the war so they could sacrifice them for fodder, so they could get the Philosopher's Stone. Hence, they sacrificing red heifers, trying to build temples, getting the people ready for war. So I don't know, bring the Messiah back or something. It's all it's eerie parallel, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's just some anime thing. People gonna say I'm a geek, I'm a nerd, but it's apparent. I mean, it's similar. It makes a lot of sense. We living through weird times, man. Really, really, really weird times. And then to make it all worse, like our president is he can tell he got his hands behind his back because he's listening to a whole nother entity, a whole nother being, a whole nother country. Like everybody knows it too. And it hurts my heart because I've been on the blue flag star state thing for a long time. Before it was popular, I even have my tweets covering it. Like if someone was to go through my Twitter, I was talking about this for years ago. The people that know me in real life know I was talking about it. I remember when I used to talk about this thing, people used to say I was crazy. Like, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Like how the Greek culture and whatnot. That's just how the Greek culture and whatnot plays into our politicians and all of that. The Romans. How this is just an extension. Hey, I see you, Mozart. Go do your thing. But that's a video for another day. We're gonna cover that. Hey, look, the cat know how to open the door. Look at that. That's where we're gonna end it off at. Man, my cat is smart as fuck. But yeah, y'all have a good day. If you made it this far, subscribe. I fuck with y'all. Damn, I gotta stop doing that.